The Nelson Mandela Party was elected in 1994 amid a surge of optimism and excitement. Although it has had challenges, most notably during the corrupt Zuma years, its grasp on power has always appeared secure. However, it had not advanced South Africa as a whole, and it appeared unresponsive to the mounting calls for change, the eradication of corruption, and more job possibilities. Above all, there was a cry for the severely damaged infrastructure of the nation to receive significantly more care, especially given how unstable the production of power is. Slower industrial expansion has resulted from a patchy electricity supply, failing employment, and a drop in many people's living conditions have resulted from this. The ANC was under the wing of a perfect storm, but party strategists never imagined the ANC would fall from grace. Maybe not as large as a majority, but still a majority in parliament. Instead, it must now create a coalition with one or lesser competitors, even though it is still the largest party. South Africa suffers from extreme poverty and inequality, and the ANC is still the largest party in the country, despite a precipitous decline in support since the 2019 election. Voters also held the ANC responsible for shortages of energy, clean water, housing, and other amenities, despite the nation having one of the highest unemployment rates in the world. To stay in power and re-elect President Cyril Ramaphosa for a second and final term, the ANC will now probably need to find a coalition partner or partners within 14 days of the election results being announced. Parliament must convene to pick the President of South Africa. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, rejected claims that his party's open border policies contributed to the fall in support for it in the general election on May 29, claiming that the emergence of Jacob Zuma's MK party was the primary cause. Malema claimed that the MK party's impressive showing in KwaZulu-Natal showed the EFF that the votes it had previously gotten in the province did not accurately reflect the support it enjoys there. There are always dynamics in elections. We now recognize this new dynamic as the emergence of this party. We were treated similarly by President Zuma and Yemen Mashaba of Action SA in Johannesburg in 2021. He mentioned that Action SA had not performed as well in these general elections as it had in the local government ones 3 years prior. Once we identified the problem, we addressed it, he stated. 5 years ago, EFF held third place but dropped to fourth place, giving way to the 6-month-old MK party, which received 14.6% of the vote. We as the EFF will be engaging with different political parties on how we elect leadership for parliament and constitute a government that will lead South Africa for the next 5 years, Malema said, adding that the ANC's parliamentary majority had been broken and that no single political party could form government on its own. Malema threatened to penalize EFF members who had not contributed fairly in the campaign during the election period. Both Malema and Stena stated that their parties are willing to have talks with the ANC. The MK party stated that the removal of Ramaphosa as the president and head of the ANC was one of their requirements for any accord. That highlighted the intense personal political rivalry between Zuma and Ramaphosa. MK party's spokesperson Lamulo Ndlela stated, "We are willing to negotiate with the ANC, but not ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. Over the past 20 years, the ANC's support has steadily decreased, albeit only by 3 to 5 percent points every election. This time, it lost 17 percent points compared to the 57.5% it gained in 2019. The Electoral Commission estimated that over 28 million South Africans were registered to vote, and that roughly 60% of them would cast ballots. Malema has suggested that the EFF and Zuma's MK may collaborate, although ANC has openly declined getting into a coalition with these two. This indicates that the DA is the ANC most likely coalition ally. However, it is still unclear if South Africa would be in favor of white people holding prominent political posts again, possibly even the vice presidency. Additionally, the two parties would need to put their historical animosity aside, especially in the light of DA's persistent and long-standing criticism of ANC. The negotiations will clarify things more. Even fierce rivals can come to a compromise. Disappointed with this drop to 4th place, Malema might swallow his pride and accept an alliance with the ANC. However, it is far from certain how any of this will lead to genuine government that is coherent.